My daughter was in my hospital room today. Her boyfriend looked at her, and for one moment, I could see how much he loves her. And I could see such tenderness in her eyes. I could see the life they will have together. And I could see their mistakes, the mistakes they'll make. I could see how they're going to raise their children. It was something. And so we arrive at the final variation. Beethoven chooses to end his set of variations with a minuet, a graceful dance. And I find such beautiful symmetry in his design. We begin with a beer hall waltz, and we end with a delicate spiritual dance. Variations on a dance should end with a dance. What an elegant idea, and so elegantly articulated by the master. This from a man who could not dance.
Now we begin again in E flat major, twice as fast, 3 subjects simultaneously. Now bring the subject up. Crescendo! Fortissimo! Now for the ending. The world is collapsing, refining itself in a C-flat diminished chord. Forcing us to a resolution in an augmented chord. Again softer. Almost disappearing.
How can I explain Clara to you? She's like her father. I mean, he was a good man, a good father, but he could never stick to anything. He became mired in mediocrity. And I worry that she's like that. She's like him. She started as a painter, then she became a sculptor. Now she's a costume designer, but she's changing that now. She's the same way with the men in her life. And I worry that she's never going to fully be something. I thought you liked being a costume designer.
I do.
Clara, you're never going to excel at any field if you keep changing careers.
Mom, I don't want to get stuck in one career, one path. I like exploring new things.
Oh, great. Then you'll be mediocre at everything. I did not raise you to be mediocre.
What happens if you get worse? What happens if you fall?
I'm not on my deathbed.
I never said you were.
Well, you act like it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
The conference is 10 months away. My monograph is non-existent.
I just don't understand why you have to go there. When you were working on your book on Mozart, you didn't fly off to Vienna.
Because Mozart composed in his head. Beethoven composed on paper. So there are thousands and thousands of sketches with his every thought, every compositional idea. And they're in Bonn. It's the only hope I have to understand why he did it. I think Beethoven is making fun of Diabelli's waltz.
Making fun of it?
There's so much humor in the variations. Beethoven is mocking the waltz, showing it for all its ineptitude. You can see it in so many of the sketches.
Well, that's one hypothesis.
Diabelli's waltz is trivial, it's commonplace. Beethoven will go on to show Vienna what a great composition he can make out of a grain of sand.
I am not convinced.